Hey there, Dan Martell here, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to plan a team offsite that builds connection and clarity so that you don't waste a bunch of time, try to overload the calendar, schedule, people get frustrated. And more importantly, what you want is to have people walk away with a clear sense of purpose and rocks and strategy so that they can move the business forward. Be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to make it easy on you. I'm going to share with you how to get access to my team offsite planner worksheet that's even got some specific exercises you can be doing with your team to deepen that build trust. Deepen the connection and build that trust. Let's get going. So I've been building companies for over 20 years. I've hired over 500 people in various companies. I've exited, I've sold, I've scaled, I've invested. But when I started, I was literally the worst leader as they came. And luckily, I read a bunch of incredible books. One of them was Good to Great, where talked about just the concept of getting everybody on the team focused in the right direction. They call it, the right seats on the bus. But more importantly is just the value of taking your team and getting out of the office and doing an offsite. So typically when people ask me like who that should be, it's executive leadership team. And just because you have the right people doesn't mean you're gonna have a great meeting. When I started, it was painful because I wanted to accomplish way too much in the meeting. I was trying to accomplish more project management, not really understanding the value of it is to deepen the connection and build trust amongst the team. So I went on a journey and I've studied about 12 different books around company scale and leadership and growth. A lot of Patrick Lencioni's books, Scaling Up, Vern Harnish, Gino Wickman, Traction, and a bunch of others. And what I've discovered is a different process I'm going to walk you through today to get it to the point where, I just had my leadership offsite. And, not only did everybody walk away with a clear sense of priorities and drive, but more importantly, my goal is after they attend, that they feel more connected and understand the motivations and trust from the rest of the team members, because that, I will tell you, will drive things more than anything. So let's get into it. Number one, prep the plan. So before you have your offsite, the key is to do the research, get the data, pull the reports, get the surveys, make sure that people come ready. If you are the leader, you might want to give your team key outcomes or targets to plan for the next 12 months if you're doing your yearly offsite or maybe a quarterly offsite the next quarter. But giving people enough information and asking them to come ready with a plan, some strategy, so that we can edit together, we're not creating from scratch, is probably the most important thing. I've seen too often with teams that I coach, when they do their offsite, they essentially start from scratch and build from there. I want people to come in. I have a framework I teach called the Slingshot Planner. But the concept is they should bring to you the next 3-year and quarterly projects that they want to advocate for to create the momentum in their area of the business. So make sure that you not only share with them your estimates and targets and ambitions for the next year or wherever the period you're planning for, but that they come ready to provide some input, some key projects that they feel committed to moving the business forward. Then you can co-create together and you can edit. You're not creating from scratch. So prep the plan. Number two, paint the vision. It's very important. And sometimes we feel like we're like a broken record and we keep repeating ourselves. But it's important that right at the beginning, we remind everybody, what is the 10-year target? What is the 3-year vision? What are we accomplishing over the next year so that we can get everybody laser focused on the key outcomes that we're measuring our success against so that they can rally around that and come up with the right strategies that are going to drive that forward. It's too important for me to assume that everybody already knows the vision. It's really important to paint it again, to describe it, describe how it feels, describe what it looks like when we get there, describe the energy in the office, the ambitions amongst the team, the quality of the people we'll be working with at that level, the kind of partners we're going to have, the accolades we're going to achieve in the marketplace, but make sure that we paint that vision to get everybody aligned. Number three, build trust. So for me, and I've mentioned this already, is connection and trust is everything. If you don't have trust amongst your coworkers, especially at the executive leadership team, it's going to be really hard to move any project outcome agenda forward because everybody's going to be wondering what's their motivation, why are they doing this? So I'm going to share with you a quick exercise that I do every year for my team's yearly planning or offsite. And it's really just about going around to everybody and asking them the plus and minuses. So real quick, everybody writes down the people on the team, all their names. Okay, so ideally you don't have more than 7 people on your executive leadership team. So let's say you list everybody's name. And then on the column next to it, there's 2 columns for each person. There's things that you think they're really great at and an area of improvement. So everybody on the team evaluates everybody else. And then one person at a time, you go around the table and everybody shares that feedback with the person, okay? They share, I like to go worst thing first, and then you leave on a high note. So, I think that this is an area that you might want to look to improve, but here's something that you do that's really great. And then what happens is everybody's open and honest. There's no holding back. I think too often people feel a certain way, but they're never given permission or they don't feel comfortable enough to share that. I'm asking for permission from the group and encouraging them all to share those perspectives. Again, it's their hallucination. If you want to say it that from that way, say my hallucination is that you are very forgetful and you don't write anything down. You can do that, right? But you're also an incredible visionary, and your drive and passion is really impressive as an example. But what happens is everybody shares that, everybody normalizes their sentiment for the other team members, and then what I do is then ask everybody to go around and ask what's one commitment they're willing to make to the rest of the team that they're going to tackle in the next quarter or the next year. And then that just gives everybody a chance to up level and kind of upgrade their skills based on real feedback from the team, so it makes them a better teammate for everybody else involved. So that's one example, but you need to open up the trust. You might even do a personality assessment and review everybody's score as a group. You might do some trust falls. I joke because I don't think that that's very helpful, but you want to just share some personal stuff as a group, as much vulnerability as you want to allow. And really, as the leader, if you're watching this as a founder, you've got to go first and you've got to be the most vulnerable and the most open to feedback so that it sets the stage for everybody else. Number 4, retest. So what this means is you've probably already sat down, created your mission, your vision, your values, your go-to-market, how you sell in the market. If you haven't, make that a key outcome from your first offsite. But every company kind of at the 12 people plus, you should have those things kind of locked and loaded. But reevaluate them, retest them, look at the values and say, are these things that we're hiring, firing against? If they're not, then they're just words on a piece of paper that nobody really believes in. Is the mission crystal clear? Have you pivoted the product a little bit and you've got to reset the mission? Whatever it is, my whole thing is when we get together as a group, especially at the end of the year, it's a great opportunity for us to retest those key elements that are driving forces for our business. And if they're not serving us anymore, open up the discussion to maybe reevaluate and edit them. And number 5, map closure. So you do all this great work, you get connected, you do some strategic planning, you figure out what the big rocks are, everybody's aligned with that, we're gonna drive forward in the next year, 3 years, etc. Then it's about taking those rocks and mapping them forward into a plan. So what I like to do is get really detailed on the next 12 months per quarter and figure out what are the big rocks per person on the team. Ideally, every quarter, I call it 2 enhancements, 1 upgrade. So essentially 1 net new project. So 2 things that will amplify a current result that you're making, so a key project or a big rock, and then 1 thing that's a net new per quarter. Now this is not a hard and fast kind of rule, but I just feel like too often people, when you look at their big rocks on their list, it's like all new stuff when there's still things that are currently working that they could amplify. So I'm a big fan of constraining and say, hey, what are the 2 things that are working you're gonna make better this quarter, Q1, and then what's a new thing you're gonna attack in Q1 and kind of set that same pace. Everybody on the team locks that in. You look at the outcome goals, metrics and key data points that you're gonna aim for the year, and then you work backwards and break those into minimum quarterly goals, and then per quarter you blow it out for the months. So everything should map from a month to a quarter to the next quarter to the year in a spreadsheet from a data point. And if you've seen my training called the Weekly Sync, you can search my YouTube channel for that. I talk about the scorecard, and the precision scorecard is another video as well. So Weekly Sync and precision scorecard kind of fit into this. But we need to essentially set those rocks and set the measurement for those rocks so that we have a pulse to progression throughout the year. And those are the mapping closure at the end of our offsite to make sure that we capture all this great strategizing and reviewing and team building and connection, but it actually moves the business forward. 5 key strategies to have an incredible team offsite. Number 1, prep the plan. Number 2, paint a vision. Number 3, build trust. Number 4, retest. And number 5, map closure. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive resource called the Offsite Team Planner. You can click the link below to download your copy. In it, I talk about kind of the day 1 or day 2. If you're doing a 1-day offsite, then just say morning and afternoon equivalents. But the way I think about it is day 1 is retro. We're going to take our lessons learned. We're going to review our previous period to make sure that we're learning and we're iterating and figure out what the opportunity is. It's not there to criticize. And I've got the exercises in that worksheet, as well as day 2. How do we plan? What do we need to set going forward to make sure that we actually leverage the time we're together to solve some big issues and discussions, and then also lock that into the projects that we're going to move forward to hit our goals. You can click the link below to download your copy. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if there's anybody you think this could serve, feel free to share it with them directly. As per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. I don't like trust falls. No. Well, they're dumb.